So I saw myself doing literally that surrender to a person, I mean an intimate partner, which I say is actual shirk. Islamically, that is shirk.
Surrender is about surrendering the one who was needlessly present. After that, there is just being pure and total, whole and natural. There is nobody to fight really. Fight is experienced only by those who are denying light to themselves. So darkness will say, light intends to assault me.
But sometimes you have to take really difficult steps in your life.
A lot of people might come and say, you are waging a war against us. If the circumstances are a particular way, the person of truth will respond truthfully. If that is to be seen as a fight, so be it. So some would say, oh, the fellow is engaged in a fight. But the fact is that...
Acharya ji. Raji, I got most of my answers in your talk, and it was so beautiful to just hear and immerse myself into this. But as you know, I'm in Canada. It's really frigid outside, but still the total is still working. The nature is still working. And somewhere I have experienced this, that I inspire myself a lot with nature when I see outside. And that's how I was able to adapt in Canada. But sometimes you have to take really difficult steps in your life. And by difficult, I mean, I am, because of you, now in a place of fearlessness and even desirelessness, actually. I want to understand that this can come to somebody who have become very frigid in their inner battle of ego and attachment as something very rebellious. Okay. And I have been working towards surrendering. If I may ask later, that is surrender similar to desireless action as well? So I saw myself doing literally that surrender to a person, which I say is actual shirk. Islamically, that is shirk. And then slowly after getting the knowledge of oneness, desirelessness, and being steady in the truth, I for them it was a deviation from surrendering to them. By them I mean an intimate partner, to now probably being on your path. So that is a deviation for them, and it is something that I honestly am seeking answers. That can I just surrender to the truth, but yet be not very like in a fight flight mode with the people around me, and be okay with not having the desires to I want to seek the truth, I want to be on the path of the truth, and not do that and just completely quieten myself?
The sun does not intentionally fight darkness. The sun will not probably even know that a fight is happening. The fight, if any, is being experienced only by the darkness. Surrender is about surrendering the one who was needlessly present. After that, there is just being pure and total, whole and natural. There is nobody to fight really. That's the state of greatest peace. No enemies left at all, because no second left at all. Nobody really to call as the other one. So who's left to fight? Yet there is a fight. But that fight is experienced only by those who are denying light to themselves. So darkness will say, light intends to assault me. Now, darkness is projecting its own intent on light. Light has no intention. Light is just light. Light illuminates, not because it intends, but because that's its nature. Light dispels darkness, not because it hates darkness, but because darkness is false. Similarly, a lot of people might come and say, you are waging a war against us. But then the ones who have known, the ones who have even appeared to fight holy wars, were actually very peaceful inside. No violence really, even if they appeared engaged on the battlefield. No violence inside. No hate. Fighting is happening, but there is no hate. The hating one is absent. And what is being seen as a fight is simply the flow of the light. Darkness is trying to resist, and that is being framed as a battle. But there is really no battle. As an intended action. No. Somebody is hiding in the dark and the sun rises and the fellow is exposed. Did the sun intend to cause harm? A thief is hiding in the dark, and then the sun rises and the thief is exposed. Did the sun intend to pick a fight with the thief? It is just the nature to illuminate. That is the nature of real religious strife. It is one-sided. It is not from the side of the sun. It is only from the side of the darkness. The sun is not a hater.
Yeah.
So there is no dissonance between being surrendered and being engaged on a battlefield. There is no dissonance at all. One can be inwardly very peaceful, very quiet, very surrendered, and yet outwardly one can find herself deeply engaged in the battle. Makes no difference to the inner quiet at all. And even the external movement that will be categorized as or labeled as fighting is actually just a smooth flow in response to the circumstances. If the circumstances are a particular way, the person of truth will respond truthfully. If that is to be seen as a fight, so be it. But it's just a truthful response to how the situations are. A truthful response without enmity, without hate, without malice. In fact, it's a response coming from compassion itself. But to darkness, it will look like aggression. So these are not two modes of spiritual existence. One, the mode of the saint, the surrendered one, the wandering mystic, the singing Sufi. No. And the other, the mode of the fighter. Let's say Arjun. No. These are not distinct. These are just the same. Another day, another situation, another ground, you might find the singing saint has picked up a weapon. Another day, another situation, and you might find Arjun is singing. Actually, it's called the great song, the song divine, Gita, the song on the battlefield. The battlefield is witnessing a song.
Equilibrium, right?
Yeah. So they are the same thing.
Equilibrium of battle and of having the song within you.
It's a simultaneous presence of both. One is visible to the eyes, the other is not. The surrender will not be visible. The absence of movement will not be visible. The inner quiet and stability will not be visible. And concurrent to that is the external action that would be visible. So some would say, oh, the fellow is engaged in a fight. But the fact is that at the same moment, the fellow is also a non-doer, not doing anything. Maybe inwardly, there is just that faint hum, the echo of the divine song. These are not two distinct beings. These are just two distinct grounds. Give the liberated one a conducive environment and he becomes a singer. Give the liberated one a hostile environment and he becomes a warrior. In either case, he remains a non-doer. And when I say conducive, conducive not to his personal well-being. When I say hostile, hostile not to his personal self-interests, conducive to truth itself or hostile to truth itself. The man of truth will respond in one way when the environment is conducive to truth. And the man of truth will fight in another way when the environment is hostile to truth. But inwardly he remains the same, sometimes a singer, at other times a warrior. You want to hear his song? Pray that he gets another age, another ground, another environment, another society. And he'll be as wonderful in his song as he is with his blows.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Acharya. Thank you.
Welcome.